My mother sued me over a lottery win that never existed. The entire nightmare began with a rumor on Facebook, the cropped screenshot, a careless assumption, and a family that has always preferred fantasy over facts. She was convinced I had come into a life-changing amount of money and was hiding it. Worse, she believed I owed it to them, especially to my younger brother, the lifelong favorite. When I refused to admit to something that never happened, she filed a lawsuit demanding a massive payout. I responded by hiring an attorney and countersuing for harassment and legal fees. By the end of it, she lost the case, was ordered to pay thousands in penalties and costs, and eventually lost her home. And somehow, I'm still the villain. I'm the older of two brothers. My entire life, my younger brother Brian has been treated like royalty for accomplishing the bare minimum. While I worked multiple jobs to pay my way through community college, he received financial help, new gadgets, and endless second chances. When I bought my first car, it was a battered old sedan I saved for. He was handed a brand new vehicle as a birthday gift. If I achieved something, it was met with polite nods before the conversation shifted back to Brian. If he stumbled, the family rallied around him like he was a fallen hero. Fast forward to the moment everything detonated. A former classmate of mine won money on a scratch-off ticket and posted a photo online holding an oversized check. My aunt saw the post, noticed we had attended school together, and somehow decided that I must be the winner. She cropped his face out of the image and dropped it into the family group chat, the one I had been quietly removed from months earlier. No one asked me if it was true. Instead, they speculated. The amount grew with every retelling. What began as a modest prize ballooned into something enormous. By the time the rumor settled, I was apparently sitting on a hidden fortune. I had no idea any of this was happening. I was on the road for work, hauling freight across state lines, listening to podcasts, and thinking about my upcoming wedding. Meanwhile, my financial future was being rewritten in a chat I wasn't even part of. The first hint came from Brian. He called out of nowhere, congratulating me in a tone that suggested we were suddenly close again. When I asked what he was talking about, he laughed like I was playing coy. He insisted there was no need to hide it from family. I told him there was nothing to hide. He didn't believe me. 2 days later, my mother called. Her voice was cold and deliberate. She asked detailed questions about my bank accounts, recent purchases, future plans. When I pressed her, she said we needed to discuss my winnings. I explained again as slowly that I hadn't won anything. She accused me of lying. She said family supports family, especially when one member comes into unexpected wealth. Then the truth surfaced. Brian had accumulated serious debt. He was on the verge of losing his car. My supposed windfall, in her mind, was the solution. She had already decided how the money would be divided and how much would help Brian, how much would compensate them for raising me. I laughed at the absurdity. She didn't. A week later, I was served with legal papers. My own mother was suing me, claiming I was hiding lottery winnings and refusing to share. The only evidence attached was the Facebook screenshot, the cropped photo that didn't even show my name. I thought it would collapse immediately. It didn't. Finding an attorney willing to take the situation seriously was harder than expected. The first two I consulted openly mocked the case. The third, a sharp and composed woman who specialized in family law, listened carefully. She reviewed everything and told me what I already suspected. The claim had no foundation, but defending against it would still cost time and money. So we fought back. We filed a response denying every allegation and submitted a countersuit for legal fees and harassment. We requested proof of my alleged winnings. Bank deposits, official lottery documentation, anything tangible. They had nothing beyond that screenshot. Discovery began. My financial records were handed over in full. Steady income, normal expenses, modest savings, zero lottery deposits. In return, they produced the same image again. Months passed in tense silence, broken only by angry voicemails from relatives accusing me of tearing the family apart. They said I could end it all by simply giving them something. Not what they were asking for, just something. A gesture. But a gesture would mean validating the lie. The hearing arrived. I wore my best shirt and sat beside my attorney while my mother avoided my eyes. Her lawyer presented the screenshot as though it were a smoking gun. The judge interrupted almost immediately, asking for actual evidence that I had won anything. There was none. My attorney presented bank statements and an official letter confirming no winnings under my name. My former classmate submitted a sworn statement verifying the post was his. The judge dismissed the case entirely. Then she turned to the countersuit. She criticized the lack of due diligence and ordered my mother to reimburse my legal fees and pay additional penalties for filing a baseless claim. The courtroom went silent. Outside, Brian tried to comfort her. I walked to my car feeling hollow rather than victorious. What followed was worse. Relatives flooded my phone with messages blaming me for the financial damage. My parents had little in savings. To cover the judgment, they took out a risky loan tied to selling their house. The sale fell through after inspection issues surfaced. Debt piled up. Bankruptcy followed. The house was gone. The narrative remained the same. If I had simply paid them, none of it would have happened. Brian eventually showed up at my door one evening looking thinner and older. He admitted he had relied on our parents for too long. He said the favoritism hadn't helped him, it had crippled him. For the first time, he sounded accountable. My mother later sent a handwritten letter. It contained apologies tangled with justifications. She admitted fear about retirement, panic about money, and desperation to secure their future. She asked to meet and repair things. I never responded. Because even in her apology, she framed it as fear and not choice. Meanwhile, my life moved forward. I married my wife in a small ceremony surrounded by people who actually celebrate each other's successes. We bought a better home. My career advanced. Peace replaced chaos. From the outside, it might look cold. But here's the truth that keeps me steady. I did not destroy my family. I refused to finance a delusion. I refused to confess to a lie. I refused to reward manipulation. They could have asked me directly if I'd won. They could have verified the rumor. They could have withdrawn the lawsuit once they learned the truth. Instead, they doubled down. A single social media post exposed something far bigger than a misunderstanding. It revealed a family dynamic built on favoritism, entitlement, and the expectation that I would always absorb the damage quietly. For the first time, I didn't. And that, more than any imaginary lottery ticket, it changed my life forever.